Hi, I'm Randy from Truck Bed Treasures. For 40 years, Cheryl and I have been digging through basements, attics, porterhouses, barns, anywhere where we could find and unearth treasures and put them back in the hands of the people that really appreciate what they are. So, if you're watching this video, please watch it to the end and subscribe. We go on a lot of adventures and misadventures, and we're inviting you to come with us on every one. Thanks. Enjoy the video. Randy from Truck Bed Treasures on a beautiful, sunny Wisconsin day. About 6 houses down from where we live, I got a call, and the people were moving and they had some things they wanted to get rid of, and it's kind of a mixture. So I'm going to hop right into it. First thing I got is this 20mm military ammo can and another one. And these things are big. You know, they're probably 14 inches tall, not your typical small ammo can, actually like the one like 25 videos ago that I found 2 live hand grenades in. Those are small. That was a small ammo box. These are big monsters. So they're great for storing things in. They're watertight. You know, they have a latch on the side here, 2 latches in front. So yeah, they're very secure. Great for keeping ammo in. Actually what they're intended for. But next thing they were getting rid of, quite a few years ago, they redid their living room, and they pulled down these 2 hanging lights, pendant lights or swag lights. More of a pendant because it's got the short chain on it instead of a real long drooping chain. But I know I've had these before, and they're Italian, and they're very desirable, and they're in extremely nice condition. You can imagine those hanging in your living room. They bolt to the ceiling. There's a copper colored top that would mount on your ceiling, and you can see that they're direct wire, so you can replace any hanging light or any ceiling light that you have and just wire this directly into it. They've got some age to it. They're not grounded. They just a hot and neutral wire, so there's no ground wire. So they've got some age to them, and I know they're Italian. They were also getting rid of these bifold window shades, window blinds. You know, and obviously they open and close by moving this lever here. And a lot of people use these in their bathrooms on the bottom part of their window just to kind of protect their privacy a little bit, and they're easy to install. But a trendy thing that people have been doing for quite a few years with these things are they'll stand them up and actually use them to hang earrings on for displays or jewelry. So they're kind of fun. There's a lot of different things you can do to them. You can paint them, you know, a shabby white or a country farm white color. But also they're great to use like in a bathroom situation or even a kitchen window over your sink. You know, they lock together with this little latch here, so they don't separate when you're trying to get some privacy. So I thought those were fun. So a couple household things and a couple military crates. And then, I don't know, like Cheryl said, it's the summer of chainsaws. You know, here's a McCulloch Mini Mac 35, and I did get the bar and the chain with it also. I don't know if it works, but it does have compression when I pull, so if it doesn't start, it's probably something very minor. So once again, you know, you have Truck Bed Treasures bringing you metal, tools, glassware, and homeware, and I'm not finished yet. I think the next thing I'll show you is this, and it's a Miller High Life called Girl on the Moon tray. You know, it's 1940s, 1950s, very desirable. This one's got a little bit of surface rust on it, which doesn't really affect it a whole lot. They're not extremely rare, but they're not plentiful either. You know, and if you put something like this in this condition out there for like $30, it'll bring $30. If it didn't have the rust, it'd bring 80 or 90 probably on some sites. So, you know, of course, they wanted to get rid of it, and I was more than happy to take it. I'm going to kind of set this thing right here aside because it's my favorite thing. Actually, I'm just going to put it upside down and set it up on top of here because this is the thing I'm most excited about, and I'll tell you why when I get to it. So, they had this cowboy horseshoe, off a real horse, and then railroad spikes welded together to form a star. So you have this very heavy star with a horseshoe in the center, which is, just a great idea for repurposing old railroad spikes and horseshoes. So I'm going to move this over, and I'm going to move that over, and I don't want to break those. And I'm going to stand this guy up right there. Isn't that a cool piece? I mean, you can put that out for yard art and leave it out there till H freezes over, and it's not going to rust away. It's always going to be there. For them, I also got these two. Get rid of this bag. These two gardening tools or flower bed tools. And, everybody uses them. But what's cool about these is they have really long handles. Probably a 12-inch handle. So you don't have to really get down and get close to the dirt to use these. And easy to store away. And these do really well online if you have an online store and you ever run across these shovels or these hoes or any other hand tools for gardening. If you put them online and you have 3 or 4 of them and you put them on anywhere from $30 to $35, $40, they'll sell for you. Especially if they're old and primitive like this. It kind of adds a little bit of, like I've been here before gardening instead of having the brand new plastic ones with the rubber handles. So, I always like the old school. Old school, old school, old school, and these are old school. Stick around, these are really cool. So, what else did I get? Well, if you follow our channel at all, you know that I love getting hammers, and that's getting hammers, not hammered, because they sell so well. People cut them up and they use them for crafts. They use the metal, or not metal, but steel top, the hammerheads. So it doesn't matter if it's a ball peen, like these are ball peen, or if they're claw hammerheads, they sell. So I got that whole pile from them. And there's also this, I believe this is for roofing, if I'm not mistaken. And I can't tell if there's a name on it or a mark on it. But, oh yeah, there's something, again, I can't read it because I'm trying to do it through my phone. And you guys will probably have a better chance of doing that. And then here's a nice old hatchet. It has seen its better days, but still there's people out there that collect them. They like the old hatchets. Oh, there's one more thing in the box. I forgot. There's one more big axe head. Not a hatchet, but an actual axe, I'm sorry. And it's got some wear to it. But again, it's a collectible piece. So, what I have next is I have an axe, a single bed, and here's a double. And the handles aren't that important. You know, it's who made the actual head. And collectors eat these things up. If you want to sell them online, you can just cut them off the handle. Otherwise, it costs so much to ship. And just send the heads. And then I have a couple of these. And I asked the guy that lives down the street from me what they are, because I see them every once in a while, and I just picked one up like a couple of weeks ago, and now I have another one. So there's a lot of paper mills in Wisconsin, and they deal with a lot of logs. You know, a lot of people clear cut forests and bring in the logs for the paper mills. So these would be used to roll the logs and move the logs around. And he said what they would do is sharpen this tip to a really good point, and then they would take it and they would find some steel and they would hit it really hard on steel to put a little bend in this little hook here, so when they went to move the logs like this, you would have a little bent tip on it, which makes a lot of sense to me. So now I have two of them. And I don't even know where to put this next thing here. I'm just running out of room. But like Cheryl says, it's the summer of chainsaws. You know, here's another chainsaw. That's the brand, that's the model number. And I tell you, I've been buying chainsaws, and I don't know what I'm going to do with them. You know, I've sold a few of them, and I just don't know what I'm going to do. I'm getting so many of them. So I'm just kind of picking up brands now that I've never heard of before, and I've never heard of that brand. But it seems to be in pretty good shape. So in true fashion, I'll set the chainsaw next to the axes and hatchets and right next to the Italian glassware. And that's the way we roll with Truck Bed Treasures. So I have a couple more things to show you. You know, another chainsaw, another McCulloch. This is a 25, not a 35, and it's a mini. It's probably got like a 10-inch blade on it. And he said that it runs, so you know, I picked it up. I'm going to take a chance on it. It's either going to run or it's not, but I don't have a lot invested in it. So I'm going to kind of lose focus here and try to set this somewhere back here. And I think that works. Okay, so I have two more things to show you. One I'm really stoked about, and the other one I'm super stoked about. The one I'm really stoked about is this. So what this is you can see the springs, you can see the roosters, you can see the little metal, or not metal, but iron tab coming down. And he was going to sell this at a rummage sale when he got into his new house for $35. And I said, no, don't. I'll just give you that for it. So what happens is, if you're target practicing with a real gun, a 22 preferably, and you hit this rooster, it gets knocked down. You hit this rooster, oh, it's stuck. It goes down. And then, when you get them both down, you shoot the hanging ball here, and it lifts them back up, like that. So you can just keep shooting, and I don't know why this one is stuck, but I will figure it out. You know, I used to flip houses, and I used to build Harleys, and I used to build streetcars, so and I design products for companies in my real life, so I'm sure I can figure out why the rooster doesn't fall down when it's shot. So that actually sounds like a punchline from a joke. Why didn't the rooster fall down? So anyway, the last thing I have for you, I've got to make some room for, and this is a story. So get ready for one of my quick stories. But when I was in grade school, my dad owned a tavern. And we would go there a lot and help him clean up in the morning and on weekends. And, we would be there sometime when the beer distributors would come in. And we would always get stickers from the beer distributors. My favorite stickers to get that I had on all my folders in school, which I'm sure they wouldn't let you do now in today's world, my favorite stickers were Budman and Mighty Malt. These were like the hottest things that you could have on your folders in school or on the inside of your lockers. And you still see them floating around out there. And whenever I see them, I love to pick them up because they're just so amazing. And Budman, they haven't been used. And Budman is so iconic, along with Mighty Malt Man, that I just have to pick them up because they remind me so much of my childhood and the good times. And there were so many different ones that came out. Here's a racing one with Mighty Malt Man. And here's a Budman with a dune buggy. You can tell 1970s, this is 72. The dune buggies were so popular back then. And here's guitar playing. Here's a peace and love sign. They were just fun. I remember having this one when I was a kid. The last one here. Budman flying through the air. So I love these. Again, they just bring back my childhood. And then I don't know what's all in here, but it looks like a bunch of Spud McKenzie stickers. So those are also cool. Bud Light and Bud. But if you remember seeing these Bud stickers growing up, pop us a comment and let us know. Or any of these things, bring back memories to you. Pop us a convo. And again, subscribe to our channel. We're the ones that go out and find leather and lace. We find glassware, Italian glassware, and metal hatchets and axes, chainsaws, ammo cans, wooden shades, horseshoe and railroad spike art. So subscribe to our channel and hang out with us. It doesn't cost you anything. And come along on the rides. It's always a lot of fun. Cheryl and I appreciate it. We talk about you guys all the time. We answer all your comments in the comment section. We don't take you for granted. We're building a family here. Be a part of it. Thanks for hanging out with me. See you soon.